Now, in our first story, information reaching Joy News indicates that former Chief Executive Officer of COCOBOD, Dr. Stephen Opuni, has been charged for causing financial loss to the state. The suit filed by the state is expected to be called on Friday, 23rd March 2018. About 27 charges are reportedly leveled against Dr. Opuni so far. Dr. Opuni was kicked out of office in January last year after the New Patriotic Party administration took over power following allegations of mismanagement of the cocoa industry leveled against him. It will be recalled that the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, EOCO, froze his assets to enable it conduct investigations into the said allegations. The charge comes a week after President Nana Akufo-Addo told Ghanaians in his address as the 61st Independence Anniversary celebration to expect more prosecutions of persons deemed to have engaged in the misappropriation of public funds. According to President Akufo-Addo, the state can expect more prosecutions for corruption in the coming months following the establishment of the Office of Special Prosecutor. He stated public officials present and past should take note that they will be held accountable for their stewardship of our public finances. The president made reference to a 5.4 billion Ghana cedi capture by the Auditor General in its latest report, which it referred to as the liabilities of ministries, departments and agencies, which led to the disallowance of that same amount. He wondered if citizenry could appreciate what the money could do for free SHS for 5 years. The former chief executive of the Ghana Food and Drugs Authority, Dr. Stephen Opuni, was relieved of his post on January 12, 2017 and appointed to COCOBOD on November 30, 2013. He served at COCOBOD for 4 years. Joy News will follow this developing story keenly and bring you more as and when we get details. Now, the Lora districts will be among 28 others in the country that will be elevated to the status of a municipality come Thursday. The district is the second oldest in the northern part of the country after the Gambaga district. With a day left for the inauguration of the municipality, residents are bracing themselves for the opportunities that the new status is bringing and at the same time its challenges. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Lora.
41-year-old Bonikun Georgina has been working as a seamstress for the past 15 years. She is a mother of 4 and has 8 apprentices. Over the past years, few apprentices have successfully passed out through her hands in this small shop. Georgina wishes she has more apprentices passing out than she has now. This is difficult because only a few parents can afford the apprenticeship fee. With the elevation of the Lora district to the status of a municipality, Georgina believes a lot of opportunities will be opened for the residents.
There are some children who are at home because their parents cannot pay for them to learn any trade. But with the elevation of the district to municipality, many people will have jobs, thereby reducing not only the unemployment rate in the area, but the armed robbery and other nefarious activities as well.
For the bank manager of the Lora branch of the Ghana Commercial Bank, Jacob Kwame Mwensori, the elevation will boost business in the area.
When they elevate Lora to a municipal status, it means that there will be many more businesses here, and even the construction of buildings and all those things will mean that people will need money. And we do payments and we can get commissions out of it. So I think our business will grow up. So even recently when they were making roads here, we saw a change. So we are looking forward to something more than that when the municipal status is realized.
Among the many campaign promises made by the New Patriotic Party in the run-up to the 2016 election in the Upper West region was the elevation of the Lora district to the status of a municipality. Leading the charge for the MPP in the Lora constituency was former National Youth Organizer of the party and parliamentary candidate for the constituency, Anton Inyo Abaifakabo.
It has been long overdue. We have been the first district amongst the first districts in the 3 northern regions under the Northern Territorial Council. Lora district is the oldest district apart from Gambaga. Current estimates indicate that ever since WA was declared a municipal assembly, the poverty levels in that area have reduced drastically. We think that it is important that government looks at the creation of these municipal assemblies as a way of fighting poverty, as a way of bringing all the decentralized government departments to the Lora district. We are strategically positioned in the Lora district. We are closer to the border on both sides.
The Lora district is the second oldest district in the northern part of the country after the Gambaga district. It was established 111 years ago by the colonial administration. Paramount Chief of the Lora traditional area, Napo Kabo III, is extremely happy and grateful to President Akufo-Addo for the elevation of the Lora district to the status of a municipality.
Terribly excited about it. It has always been the wish of the chiefs and people of the Lora traditional area for Lora to be upgraded. We have raised this issue many times at our annual festivals to all politicians over the years, and we always state our claim based on the fact that we are the oldest district and that we have all the government institutions and all the government departments well established in the district. The economy is booming, the town is expanding, and we needed some upgrading so that Lora can take off from there. So we are so excited when, during the visit of His Excellency to Lora last year, he hinted and told me that Lora had been identified as one of the districts to be upgraded to the municipal status. So we are very, very happy.
Even though Napo Kabo III is aware of the opportunities available with the elevation of the district to a status of a municipality, he is equally aware of the challenges involved.
Attitudinally, it's not just a question of being called a municipal assembly, but we should all begin to think like a municipal assembly and act like a municipal assembly. Revenue generation has to be intensified if we are going to spearhead the development of our municipality. So we are definitely aware that there are immense opportunities to be derived by our people. At the same time, we are also aware of the challenges that this upgrading to a municipal assembly will entail. And we, the chiefs, are ready to support the assembly members. We are ready to support government to carry out any development that will come about as a result of raising to municipal status.
A former district chief executive of Lora, George Esamisule, said during his tenure, certain structures were put in place towards the elevation of the district to the status of a municipality. He is happy that his hard work has become one of the strongest points for elevation of the district.
Even when I was in office, we started making some structures. For instance, the Divisional Police Command, that is a step to lift Lora to a paramountcy. So the Assembly had that foresight to make Lora a municipality. So we are very, very happy.
The Lora district has a resident population of a little over 63,000. The total employment constitutes 5.1%, while self-employed persons with employee or employees constitutes 1.2%.
Everybody have heard about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah being imprisoned in Lora, but even some of the people within Lora do not know exactly where he was imprisoned. And so we want to develop that site. The chief has taken note of it. I have been in constant discussion with him, and we are going to develop that site very, very soon. That is not the only tourist site in the district. We have the spring at before the bar. We are also going down there to develop that site so that people who come into the district can at least get some tourist sites to go and visit. There are a number of them, the Crocodile Pond at Ermo. We have indeed, as an assembly, taken stock of all tourist sites in the district. All the assembly members in the district have provided information of tourist potentials in their various communities, and the assembly is compiling that list and will soon develop them so that people can take advantage of them when they come into our region.
For the government of the MPP, the elevation of the Laura district to the status of a municipality is a campaign promise well fulfilled. The onus now lies on the people to use the opportunity to work assiduously to reduce the poverty Kogmai the people are wallowing in. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Laura.
The Right to Information Coalition is giving Parliament a 10-day ultimatum to pass that critical bill. The coalition says President Akufo-Addo's recent pledge to ensure the passage of the bill before the end of this year simply adds to the endless government's rhetoric on the matter. The coalition launched a campaign for the quicker passage of the bill today in Accra. Now, we've been joined on the line by Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Democratic Development and a member of the Right to Information Coalition, Dr. Kojo Asante. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Asante. Why now, and why is the coalition making this call now?
Hi, good afternoon to your listeners. So let me make some corrections. So the coalition is giving 10 days for the bill to be laid. As you rightly mentioned, the president in his Independence Day speech said that government will lay the bill and ensure its passage before this parliament rises, and particularly for this meeting of parliament. Now, we understand that, of course, parliament rises on the 23rd of March, which is basically next week. So at the minimum for us, and we might not be able to pass the legislation by then, but the minimum for us is for the bill to be laid before Parliament. That we know is very feasible because in 2016 we were very much involved at the tail end. In the last days of 2016, the bill was almost ready to be passed and objections were raised by the then minority, the MPP minority. So we know the state of the bill. And we know government has also had a year to look at the bill. So we don't see any reason why the bill cannot be laid by the 23rd before Parliament rises. Then they can use the recess to do the broad consultations with the people of Ghana and then pass it when they come back. So what we are asking that in 10 days, we want the bill laid.
Now, it's also the case that Parliament functions according to its program, and they know the number of bills they can lay in every session that they have before they rise on recess. Is that right?
The bill is laid by the executive. So once it's laid by the executive, then Parliament can take action, right? Either refer it to a committee. That is a very simple procedure. The document is taken there to the table office and laid officially, before, Parliament. So we know that that can be done. That is feasible. If there's a reason why that cannot be done, we should know why, what that reason is. So, you ask the question why we are making this call now. I think, this is 17 years in coming. Why? What is the reason why this bill? This is a bill that is so important to our everyday lives, for accountability, for our development, and so on.
Right.
It's for ordinary people. So I think that we think there's no reason why we should wait any longer. We should make up for lost time, and that the bill should be laid now.
And if it's not laid before the 23rd?
Yes, so we will advise ourselves. We already are making plans. As I don't know if your reporters came, but this is a coalition that now has brought in many other civil society interest groups who are committed to this cause. And we really feel that as citizens, we should basically claim our birthright. This is something that concerns us, and we want to make sure that we get it for our benefit.
And how will you make sure?
Yes, we said in 10 days we'll advise ourselves.
So would you be considering legal action demonstrations?
I'm sure the people of Ghana would also know.
Right, legal action demonstrations?
Well, I'm not going to let you know strategies of the coalition, but I think that...
Thank you, Dr. Asante. Unfortunately, we lost him there on the line. You're still watching Joy News today on your Joy News channel. Have Have you ever thought about the influence the name of a town or village has on its residents? What about the personalities, behavior patterns, and life choices of these people? As part of our Ghana Month series, Mohammed Nuruddin takes us to the Ashanti region town of Odoyefe to tell us the story about the impact of certain names on their bearers.
I am here at Odoyefe, meaning love is beautiful, in the Ahafo-Ano South district of the Ashanti region, and I will be finding out whether the name really reflects in the lives of the people or not.
The name of this town has no positive impact on us. We don't show love to each other. We always have issues among ourselves.
Odoyefe does not mean you should forgive others when their animals destroy your crops. Even if you do forgive them, they will not compensate you. We are all farmers, and it would not be fair if someone destroys the other's farm.
Odoyefe literally means love is beautiful. A visit to this community will leave you with fond memories of the hospitality and serene environment. The name Odoyefe originated from the love and unity demonstrated by the people who first settled here. They were known to be very supportive. One Nana Buama, the first to settle here, named the community Odoyefe. Nana Apia is a resident.
We all came from different backgrounds, but we have lived in unity and peace. And we also shared our farm produce. Some even sheltered new settlers free of charge. Those days, we lived in peace. The first man to settle here named the community Odoyefe. It was all about unity and love.
But with the passage of time, the community has begun to lose its glory, according to residents. Here is Memunatu Al-Hassan.
Life is not easy here. For instance, money is not easy to come by. You only come back from farm and sit idle.
Odoyefe DA Primary School has only 3 classrooms, started about 2 years ago. A pupil teacher, Mbi, and others were the first teachers to be posted here.
We were posted as youth employment. That was 2016, last 2 years ago. When we came, we thought it was a school, but when we came, we didn't see anybody around. So we just went to the chief house and asked that we have posted to this school, so where is the school? So where are we going to work? And they told us, oh, we should wait for them to go and gather the elders of the community and then talk about the issues about the teachers, how we have come, or the new teachers that we are. So we all met with the elders and then a school committee, and then they discussed about our coming. So what happened is that they asked one of their members to go and then tell the people that there's a new teacher in Sodit. You should come to school that day. That was 1st of November 2016, 2 years ago. So they asked us to go and come back Monday. It was Wednesday, so we went and then it came around another next week. That was Monday, and we started school. They were very small children, little children, and some of them didn't even know how to read.
The structure is in a deplorable state. Inadequate tables and chairs is hindering studies for children.
The rain gets inside the classroom, so what we have to do is that we have to close the children and then let them go home, because our registers and then our logbooks and a lot of books that we fear that maybe it may get wet. So what we normally do is that when we see rain coming, we close the children so that they go home.
Trained teachers Kate and Helen were posted here about a year ago.
The parents are saying that if they don't bring train teachers, they will not bring their words here. So the CS try and get Madam Ellen and I. So we came and met them. So we started work, but it was not easy at all. When we came, class 1 and class 2, and one class, and KG1, KG and KG1, KG2, they are in one class. But we managed to teach. So you teach class 1, later class 2. So that is what we are doing.
We don't have office. We normally place our books at the mosque. So
the road to Odoyefe is dusty. Motorbike is the means of transport. Behind every name is a story. And like Odoyefe, residents defy the challenges to still live by the unique definition of the name. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reported.
You're still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Dazi. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me after these important messages because we have some new information on that suit being leveled against Dr. Stephen Opuni. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. We'll take you to that earlier story involving the charging of former chief executive of COCOBOD, Dr. Stephen Opuni. Court correspondent here at Joy News, Joseph Akable, joins me in studio to tell us more about those charges. So, Joseph, you understand 27 charges have been leveled against
There are 27 counts, so the charges range. We have some to do with causing financial loss to the state, among others. So in terms of the individuals who are before the court, we have 3 individuals. The first is the former CEO of COCOBOD, Stephen Opuni. He is named as the first defendant in this particular suit. The second is Seidu Agongo. He is a businessman. We understand he owns Agricult Ghana Limited. The company is also listed as the third defendant. So I can now run you through some of the counts that are against these 3 entities. So the first one, individuals and company. So the first one, count 1, statement of offense, abatement of crime, namely defrauding by false pretense, contrary to sections 21 and 1311 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29. And we are told that between January 2014 and November 2014, Mr. Opuni abated Seidu Agongo and Agricult Ghana Limited to defraud COCOBOD of the sum of 43,120,000 Ghana cedis. Now, in terms of the other counts, we also have statement of offense defrauding by false pretense, contrary to section 1311 of Criminal Offences Act. It has to do with the same company. We are told that the company had the intent to defraud Ghana COCOBOD, obtain the consent of COCOBOD to part with a sum of 43 million cedis, representing to COCOBOD that he would supply some fertilizer from Germany for application by farmers on cocoa for the 2013-2014 season. We are told that this is a representation that the company knew to be false, yet they assured COCOBOD that they could supply that fertilizer for the farmers. The other issue we are told that has to do with an amount of 75 million cedis. Now that part has to do with the count 3. It says that between November 2014 and November 2015 in Accra, in the Greater Accra region, Mr. Opuni abated Seidu Agongo and Agricult Ghana Limited to defraud Ghana COCOBOD of the sum that is 75 million cedis. So those are some of the counts that have been put against Mr. Opuni, Agricult, and Seidu Agongo.
So in the case of the 43 million Ghana cedis, what the company did, from what you're reading, is that they told COCOBOD that they could supply some fertilizer from Germany.
Yes, and they couldn't supply it. Right. Then the other one has to do with the defrauding. We are told that they made representation that they had supplied it, but it turned out that was not the case.
So do we know if the amount was paid to the company?
That is what we are told per the documents we've seen so far.
Both amounts?
Yes.
Right. So is there anything more that we need to learn about?
The first thing has to do with the fact that the first court date we are told will be March 23rd. That will be the first time where they will be put before court formally. And on that day, we expect the charges to be read to them. And if the court is minded to take their plea, to be taken whether they plead guilty or not guilty. The other issue is that the state attorney handling the case, Evelyn Kelson, she's the one who has signed the court documents that we are picking some information from. We are told that she's the same state attorney who handled the case involving Abuga Pele and Philip Asibit. And even though we understand the legal team is likely to be led by the Director of Public Prosecution. She's the one who has filed the document before the court.
So this is not from the Special Prosecutor's Office?
No.
Thank you very much, Joseph Akable, for those details. Now, stay tuned to Joy News because we'll be bringing you more about this case and as and when we do go to court. Moving on, an association called the Mobile Money Agents Advocacy Group is calling for protection for mobile money merchants in the country. Their concern is coming on the back of the broad daylight robbery of a mobile money merchant yesterday at Taifa in Accra. The robbers bolted with an amount of 4,000 Ghana cedis, mobile phones and talk time. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Yesterday, when I came to my shop, when I finished sweeping here, then I decided to dust. I have some shoes here, so I decided to dust them. So my back was facing outside. So before I realized, I saw a man standing behind me, and he pulled out.
Wait, this was around what time?
It was almost 8 o'clock.
Just around this 8 o'clock.
Yes, yes.
And you were dusting the shoes, the shoes here.
Yes.
Okay.
So before I realized, I saw a man standing behind me. Then he pulled out a gun from his jacket, and he said I should bring out all my money. So I was shivering. So he said if I make noise, he will shoot me. So at the back, the money was inside my bag. So I told him, I showed him where the money is. So I said the money is in my bag. Then he said he dragged me inside my cage. Then he took the money. Then he took the phone from the charger. Then he took the money, and the gun was pointing at me. If I make noise, he will shoot me. Then he came out. Then sit on the motor. Then they drove away.
Wow. So I'm told there were 2 people.
Yes, there were 2. One was sitting on the motor, and the other one was here.
As you just heard from Adobia, she's a mobile money merchant here. She was attacked yesterday at gunpoint just around 8 o'clock a.m. This place is very busy. You have a lot of trotros using the stretch to the central business district. There are some shops directly opposite us. They were also open for business yesterday when the incident happened. Unfortunately, they couldn't apprehend, the armed robbers. Now let's speak to some members of a group calling itself the Mobile Money Advocacy Group.
Yeah, mobile money agents, we are seriously under attack of armed robbers. Day in, day out, we are being attacked. And my concern is that if the government or our telcos, that's the telecommunication agency, can do something to help us, because our life is at stake here. We have to go and get the money ourselves to operate. It's just the network and the SIMs that we are getting from our telcos, the companies, the telecommunication companies. So if they cannot do anything to help us, or the government cannot help us with any security, I don't see it. Means we have to close the shops and then stay at home, not doing anything, not doing any job. Yes, because just last week, and this thing has been on each and every day, you hear something. Just last week at Legon, somebody was tapped and the money was made away with. That guy has to go to the, and with all that, nobody gives you anything, nobody pays you anything. So I think they have to help us.
I'm really begging for the government to come to our aid, because we use our money to operate. Nobody is rescuing us. The telcos, the government, whoever it is, they don't care about us. Our safety is at risk as well too. So I'm really begging the government for him to just come to our aid. Whatever measures he can just put in place to help us, I think he should just at least think about us too.
Still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Dazi. Emmanuel Abwajiri comes your way up next with business.